everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Hey, hey, hey. Oh my gosh, thank you for the 100 biddies, MDKI. Welcome to the stream. Yes, it's finally time. Oh, hello, real Matt on guard. hello. Yes. Hello, definitely real Matt on guard. Nice to meet you. Yes. Welcome in to my weekly The Great Ace Attorney stream. Today we're going to be starting episode 2. Okay, we're gonna be starting episode 2. So thank you for the 12 months, Kiko. Oh my gosh, it's been a year. It's been a year. Yay. Thank you so much. I love it. I love that it's been a year. Oh my gosh. Time flies when you're having fun with your community. Okay, it really does. Miyori and Shika, happy Thursday. Shiba on the case once more. That's right, we're on the case, Kiko. I'm not sure whether you see it in like the mod interface, but real Matt on guard just followed. So like, I feel like I'm being watched by like someone really important. So yeah, so how's everyone? Tonight I have 2 donuts. I have 2 very delicious donuts. Mr. Donut donuts. I have the standard pondering, and I have a fluffy chocolate coated old-fashioned donut. So like really, wait, what? Real Matt on guard? You can go and see the mod interface. It's so funny. It's just real Matt on guard. Yeah, but hey. So today we are going to travel from the Japanese court, to the British court. We're going to do the jurors system, but I think we're gonna have to go through some investigation phases before like we actually get to the court part. When I can't see them all, but okay, I guess it's fine. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so tonight I kind of have a wee bit of a strict limit. I really have to end like by 12, okay? I really have to end by 12. So whatever we finish by then, we will finish. If not, like we'll leave it for another day, okay? So for all going well, drowsy morning but better not. Yay, I'm glad I could wake you up pleasantly, MDK. Hey. And udang donuts, one of the best types of nuts indeed. Yes, one of the very unfortunate nuts that cannot be milked. It's gonna be a bit disgusting if milked, but they're perfectly fine on their own, so yeah, because tonight I forgot to soak nuts for my visitors tomorrow. The visitors include Kiko, so like I soak them and I have to like make the milk after stream ends. So if my block hears any whirring, weird, suspicious noises at about 12 AM, I'm sorry, it will only be for a minute. Then I would have to strain it and stuff. Then I let it chill before they come. Yeah, came in here and I heard soak nuts. You have to soak your nuts before you blend, Fate. Also, welcome in. Welcome in. They have to be soaked for at least 8 hours. So it's gonna be at about 8-hour mark, around 11 plus. But like I'm putting the hard deadline, and stream end time is about like maybe 11:45 or something. So that I have time to go and settle that, and then put in nuts to soak for tomorrow. Okay, so that Kiko can try her hand at milking nuts, squeezing them nuts. Yes, that's right. Okay, but you know, we will start after I take a nice bite out of my really delicious pondering. Can't wait to milk that nuts. Yeah. Exactly what nuts will remain a surprise until tomorrow. I love pondering. So good. Okay, the Memoirs of the Clouded Kokoro. Let's go. What flavor is it, by the way? You mean a nut? or like
ブライヤーロードの歩道で起こった姿なき犯人による冬の夜の惨劇。背中を刺され倒れた裏若きレディが生死をさまよううちに事件は解決した。窮地に陥った東洋人の留学生が我が友人によって救い出されたその晩、ガス灯の刻むほの暗い影の中、再び奇怪な事件が闇を切り裂いた。当時の新聞の戦場的な見出しを記憶している者も多いだろう。悪霊に見入られた死の邸宅、死刑囚の呪い、ガス魔人の恐怖。現場に駆けつけた名探偵は瞬時にその真相を看破するのだが、それは悲劇の舞台の幕開けを告げるプレリュードに過ぎなかったのである。
Damn, what an introduction, guys. Okay. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a fledgling lawyer just starting out on my journey. That's right. Hi, Solo Rush. Hello. Hi, Tuya. Hello. Yeah. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Yes, anyway, if you're talking about like nut milking, like the nuts I'm milking for my visitors tomorrow that include Kiko will be cashew. So they'll be tasting cashew milk. Cashew milk is great. Okay. The nut I'll be soaking tonight for tomorrow will be a bit different. Like, either way, it's gonna be delicious. I'm gonna eat this so that. But I know once it starts and I have to read everything, the chances for me to sneak in a bite is gonna be quite low. The moment he shows, I can see inconsistency show up, of course. 6 months ago, I arrived as a visiting student of law, having made a long voyage across the sea from the Empire of Japan to here, London, England. And on the way, in quite extraordinary circumstances, I made acquaintance of a world-famous detective. And I'm now staying in his damn attic. Yeah. Currently, I reside in the attic of the detective's own lodgings, from where I run my legal consultancy of sorts. I've successfully defended a number of clients in Britain's highest court, the Old Bailey. But since a particularly grueling and unforgettable legal battle 4 months ago now, I haven't returned to the courtroom. In truth, I lost my right to return. But that epic trial was just one small part of an epic tale. A tale which was now about to awaken from slumber, thanks to a letter that arrived this morning from my homeland. Rumble. What a delicious smell wafting up the stairs. Is it an English breakfast? Damn. It must be nearly time for breakfast. I better go down to Mr. Sholmes' suite and say good morning to the great detective and his flatmate. Let's go. I still cannot stand this apartment. Look at how it looks. It's just like this, you know? 30th August, 7:28 a.m. Sholmes' suite. Ah, Bruno, good. I was just about to call up to you. The bacon's ready. I'm sorry, Iris is just so adorable. I want to pick her up and like take her home, okay? Good morning, Iris. It smells delicious as usual. Before we eat though, I have some news. I had a surprise this morning. Shh, not another word, Mr. Naruhodo. Of course you're the one to freaking interrupt me. God damn it. God damn it, Sherlock Sholmes. God damn it. You see, this is why I cannot stand you. Ugh. This could be just the abstruse thing for my pre-breakfast stagnation-repelling mental stimulation, my dear fellow. Morning to you too, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, yes, I see. So that's it. Can come so close. Holy shit. Get out. I'll take a screenshot, but get out, please. Ah, yes, I see. So that's it. The truth is as clear to me as day. My faculties of observation have revealed it again. What are you talking about? You, Mr. Naruhodo, you have, this very morning, met with a surprise. Well, is that not the case? Really, my dear fellow? It barely warrants explanation. Firstly, your hair is particularly unkempt, somewhat reminiscent of a bird's nest. I don't want you with your hair to talk to me about what my hair should look like, sir. Secondly, you have neglected to fasten the third button of your jacket. Clearly, when considered together, these two facts point to you having been flustered this morning. Can I talk now? Yes, Ryu is done too. But of course, though I don't look for admiration, you understand. My hair always looks like this. It's been this way since I first met you. Oh, it has? And the button was ripped off last night, if you remember. By you. By you! I can't take this guy seriously. Hurley pulled your button off? Ah, yes, I recall the incident now. It was after supper, was it not? As the evening advanced, I picked up my violin and began to play the wailing notes of a haunting tune. But then, to my utter dismay, the third string snapped! Why did it have to happen? Why? Little wonder then, that in my vexation, I grabbed the first button I saw and ripped it from its proper place. You know, Shomes, maybe you could have ripped your own button instead? Or what? Don't you think it's quite rude to rip someone else's button off their clothes? Like, if you're gonna ruin something of your own, goddammit. Hi, May. Hi. Well, I'd like it back now, please. It's troubling me that I can't fasten my jacket. And it's troubling me that you expect me to know where it is. Somewhere thereabouts on the floor, one presumes. Helpful. What matters at the present time, my dear fellow, is simply whether or not my deduction was unerring. But Hurley, Bruno said it when he came in, didn't he? I had a surprise this morning. This is me staring at him. I don't know why he's speechless. Like, seriously? Well, that really is a surprise. Yes, this man is the pride of the British Empire, the famous consulting detective Mr. Sherlock Holmes. There can't be a single person in the world who doesn't know his name. Alright then, enough of this silly conversation. Come and eat this bacon before it goes cold. And I have a new herbal tea for you to try too. My latest special blend. Oh my gosh, Iris is like me. I make nut milk blends, she makes tea blends. Yes, we're one and the same. Let's go. What you call cheaps to the stand. Rude. And here we have Iris Wilson, Mr. Sholmes' lodger and companion. A truly exceptional young girl who's the author of a highly successful serialization here in London. Yes, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes as published in Ranced magazine. But rude. I won't be called to a stand. I did nothing wrong. Excuse me. So, Mr. Naruhodo, won't you put us out of our misery? What surprised you this fine morning? Well, I received a letter from Japan. From Suzy, you mean? Was it? Really? That's right. And she had some rather startling news, in fact. Intriguing, indeed. You must tell us all about it over breakfast. Oh, yes! What fun! Okay, I guess. Should we move or should we, like, talk about this? Oh yeah, we'll talk about later. This is the letter that arrived from Japan this morning by international post.
Oh, how lovely! Look at Susie's beautiful handwriting. I wish I could read it.
And how is your judicial assistant faring, may I ask? She's very well, thank you. In fact, according to what she's written, she actually appeared as a lawyer at the Japanese Supreme Court and won a case.
Ah, really? Oh, isn't she wonderful?
A cut above your good self, my dear fellow. I've won cases too, you know. Yeah, don't insult me, goddammit. Do you guys understand why seeing Shomes naturally pisses part of me off now? Look at this guy. How do you look at him and not get at least a little pissed off? Ugh. Apparently, Mr. Natsume appeared in trial as a witness. Natsume... No, I don't recall that name.
Of course you do! We helped the man! Twice!
You know, in those 2 cases that took place on Briar Road 6 months ago? Ah! The mustached, twitchy man with somewhat feline eyes and a mustache?
He didn't have 2 mustaches, Hurley.
Yes, who could forget those 2 cases? They made a very deep impression on me. Although I must confess, the details are a little hazy now. A very deep impression they made on you, clearly. I love how Ryunosuke is just as done as I am. Okay, what's the startling news then? So, what was this startling news penned by Miss Susato? Do you remember the case of the haunted lodgings, Mr. Sholmes? Ah, yes, it's very interesting, you know? I don't feel entirely uncertain that the case of that nature did not occur. He's totally forgotten then. Anyway, in her letter, Miss Susato asked that we read over her case notes again and investigate further. Though it took place half a year ago? For what purpose? Because of something that Mr. Natsume said to her, apparently. He suggested that the real reason why she was called back to Japan so suddenly might have something to do with that case of the haunted lodgings. Oh? On Mr. Natsume's return to Japan, Miss Susato's father questioned him about the case, she says. And something Mr. Natsume said appeared to trouble Professor Mikotoba, prompting him to send that telegram.
Oh, that case! Yes! It was very strange, wasn't it?
Yes?
And I had compiled the whole story into a nice, neat manuscript ready for publication too. But then Hurley here was all funny about it, remember? He was very mean. That story must not be published, you said, very mysteriously as well.
Really? I said that? Are you sure?
You piece of...
Okay, you're lucky I like these donuts. If not, I would have flipped them into my PC screen long ago. This guy is not good for my blood pressure, okay? It's not good for my blood pressure at all. Never mind, I'm having a donut piece. He's gonna insult Sholmes. He started it first. He insulted me first. Do you perhaps know something about it as well, Mr. Sholmes? About why Miss Susato was suddenly told 4 months ago that she had to return to Japan? Repatriation. Maybe Miss Susato's repatriation.
It's been 4 months now since we waved Susie off at Dover. It was such a shock, wasn't it? The way she just suddenly announced that she had to go back to Japan.
Indeed it was. Due to a telegram she received from her homeland, I believe. That's right, telling her to return urgently. Yes, because her father had passed away. You... No! Do you want to wish death on someone else? No, no, no! It just said he was suffering from a high fever, the cause of which was unknown. He's not dead! Like I said, this guy's not good for anyone's blood pressure, okay? Holy shit. May, you know, my blood pressure is rising by the minute. Every minute I spend in this guy's presence raises my blood pressure. But according to this letter, that news about her father's fever was just a ruse. A ruse? Gosh, I forgot this guy said that. He speaks without thinking, okay? He speaks without thinking. No thoughts in the head of his. Absolutely none. I think a golden retriever has more thoughts in its head than like Sherlock Holmes does.
So Susie's daddy lied to her so that she'll make the voyage back home? Why would he do that?
I have to admit, I have absolutely no idea. But she believes it's almost certainly related to the case of the haunted lodgings. Summoning her back to Japan so suddenly like that, I wonder what Miss Osato's father is hiding. He's hiding a shit ton of things, that I'm sure of.
Hurley, do you know what it's all about?
Okay, now you're dressed, huh? Well, who can say? What? But you said... Please, I have engagements, my dear fellow. My calendar is quite surprisingly full today. And a stringent analysis of the matter would be excessive, I feel, even if I were quite at leisure. So, man the fort in my absence, won't you, Iris?
I will, Hurley. Don't worry. See you later.
Look at this guy escaping scrutiny. Jesus. He scuttled off rather quickly there. Yeah, this guy's hiding something too. I think perhaps Professor Mikotoba isn't the only person hiding something here. That's right, that's exactly what I said. Soseki-san was involved in 2 cases, but only one of them was forbidden from being published. By, of all people, Mr. Sholmes.
Aha! I found them at last!
Iris, are they...
The notes about the case? That's right. Susie and I compiled them together. The case of the haunted lodgings. Do you want to read them, Runo?
Absolutely. Thank you, Iris. I have no idea what secrets could still be hiding in the shadows of this case. But perhaps if I read over the notes again, something might come to light.
That's the spirit.
Okay, so we're supposed to read them sexy notes again. And so, Iris and I decided to read over the case notes again together. Everything from what happened to our investigation and that fierce battle in court that followed. Reliving every detail, I just need to find a clue, and I have all the time in the world. Really? Really? Don't jinx yourself. Because, of course, I'm no longer allowed to practice law in the courts of Great Britain. Oh, what happened? What you do? What you do? You got this part too? Huh? I swear, this is where all the Phoenix Wright shit came from, okay? Like, it runs in the family. It was 6 months ago, a mysterious incident that unfolded on the wintry streets of London. A young woman was found lying on the snowy pavement of Briar Road with a knife in her back. Fortunately, her life was spared, but she was unconscious for several days following the incident. The fog was thick, and nobody saw her attacker. But, by a cruel twist of fate, a visiting Japanese student was walking behind her at the time and was duly arrested. That man was Soseki-san, and the man who effected his arrest was Mr. Shibs. Believing in our compatriot's innocence, Susato-san and I decided to represent Soseki-san in court. And after a grueling trial of many twists and turns, we finally managed to prove his innocence. Joyful, joyous, jubilant, jubilation! Was the man's reaction after the trial, but his jubilant jubilation was short-lived. We received a telegram from Mr. Shibs the following morning. The victim of the Briar Road stabbing has regained consciousness. Hurry to Bart at once. So Susato-san and I summoned a hansom and headed immediately to the hospital. What's a hansom? Dun, dun, dun. Oh my gosh, they even have an animated rat. 21st February, 5:30 a.m. St. Bartholomew's Hospital Recovery Ward. Taxi of that time? Most likely, yeah. There you are at last! Good morning, Mr. Shibs. I think not. You're late! What on earth took you so long? Your telegram only arrived at 5 o'clock, Mr. Shibs, and it's a 20-minute ride to the hospital. That's right, and it's 5:30 now. I think we made very good time. The time is utterly irrelevant. The fact is I have been waiting for what has felt like an eternity. Mr. Shibs, you're acting like a damn child. In point of fact, I myself was awoken at 4 this morning by a telegram boy. And feeling it was somewhat unjust that I alone had been roused at such an hour, I sent one to you. Hey, oh my gosh, you are literally 5. You are like 5, you're acting 5. Well, thanks for that. Anyway, you're here now, so the victim is over there. She has only just regained consciousness. Oh, she's such a small woman. So small. You should introduce yourselves, and I shall observe from here. So that's the lady who was found on the snow-covered pavement with the knife in her back. Her name is... yes, here we are. Miss Green. Okay, so... we gotta talk to her then. Hello, ma'am? Good morning. Hello, I'm, Ryunosuke Naruhodo from the Empire of Japan. Oh no, was it your knife that hurt the man who... No, I'm a lawyer. And I'm Susato Mikotoba. Pleased to meet you. No, was it your knife then? Are you the one? No, I assure you, I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant. We heard that you regained consciousness and wanted to come give you our best wishes. Best wishes for me? Thank you. I'm Olive Green. I'm an artist. Well, no, that's not right, is it? What I mean is, I'm trying to be an artist. Oh man, how relatable. I understand you fully, Miss Green. You are still an artist, even if you don't feel qualified. Conjure wings are delicious. Well, what I really mean is, I desperately want to be an artist. But the truth is, I don't have any talent. I know I don't. It's no wonder I was stabbed in the back. I don't think that's related, actually. Gosh, this young woman seems to bend over backwards to put herself down. seeing as we're here, we should ask her about what happened from her perspective, I suppose. To suddenly be struck in the back by a blade as you were walking along the pavement? What a terrible experience you had, Miss Green.
It was so cold that day, and the fog was so thick, I couldn't see a thing.
That was 4 days ago now, I think. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
I'm afraid you've been comatose all that time.
But the case has been solved, hasn't it?
Well, I've been here in the hospital, I mean.
Indeed it has, my dear madam. Spectacularly by none other than I, Herlock Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes, as you well know, it was Mr. Naruhodo's hard-working court that solved the case.
Are you yet to hear what happened, Miss Green?
Yes, I'm afraid so. A gentleman from the police force is supposed to be coming to fill me in shortly.
Oh, I see.
Me coming round seems to have made everyone frantically busy. I'm so sorry. I should never have regained consciousness. It was selfish of me.
Calm the hell down, Olive. What the hell?
Oh no! We're all so relieved that you're on the mend, Miss Green. Really, we are.
With that kind of attitude, maybe her surname should be Blue, not Green. Ooh. Okay, what about yourself? Tell us about yourself, ma'am. So, you're an artist, are you, Miss Green?
Oh, no, I couldn't possibly claim that. I'm a fledgling artist at best. I mean, I'm a student of art, really, at the Thorndike Academy of Fine Arts. Oh my! An Academy of Fine Arts! Great Britain is such a wonderful country. Tell me, Miss Green, do you live hereabouts? Oh, no, actually, I don't deserve it, but I have a little flat on Brixton Road.
I see. How very interesting.
Oh, no, is it?
Brixton is some 10 stops away on the underground from here. And Thorndike Academy is a mere 3-minute walk from the Brixton town center. Does that matter, Mr. Sholmes? Perhaps not, but Briar Road is a far less salubrious part of town by comparison, dwelt in by those of inferior means. You can stop insulting Soseki-san now, Mr. Sholmes, please? Please? I know you guys hate each other, but really? Including the maleficent Mr. Mustache. Inferior means? I suppose Soseki-san does fit the bill. It struck me as somewhat out of the ordinary for a young fine art student to be walking in such a district. That's all. What's this? She suddenly clammed up?
Mr. Sholmes, you should be ashamed of yourself prying into a young maiden's private affairs.
Oh, dear me, do forgive me.
If you don't mind. I'm being discharged shortly, so I need to pack up my things. Oh, yes, of course. We won't keep you. Thank you so much, Miss Green.
Okay, is there anything else we should be seeing?
That must be a bag of Miss Green's personal belongings.
She would have been brought directly here after she was found stabbed on the pavement, though. I expect a friend or family member probably brought some things for her. Alright then, let's see what's inside. A change of clothes, no doubt, and...
No, Mr. Naruhodo, you must never scrutinize a young maiden's personal belongings.
Yeah, that's so rude, Ryunosuke.
But the young maiden might have chocolates, or biscuits, or caramel.
I'm sorry, Ryunosuke is another kid. I forgot. They're all 5 apparently. What about this rat?
A mouse, Mr. Naruhodo! An enormous mouse!
Vermin in the hospital? That doesn't seem the best. Hi, Rabbit. Hello? It's a man, yes. But it looks like a very healthy specimen, doesn't it? It's very plump. I'm not sure we can say this down to the excellence of this facility, if that's what you were thinking. Okay, is there anything? Oh, sorry. What is this? This rounded wooden figure isn't the most charming, is it? Ah, I don't think that's a decoration, Mr. Naruhodo. It's an artist's mannequin, I believe, used when practicing sketching the human form in different poses. Really? It's not exactly what you call a typical figure for that purpose, though, is it?
No, I suppose not.
I confess I've never seen one quite so full-figured before. Well, if you want to draw a full-figured person, it's the right tool for the job. Okay, is there anything else we can see? I feel like we should be examining more stuff. Look, there's a photograph in this frame here. Oh? Who these? Oh, yes, it's a picture of a young gentleman. He looks to be about the same age as Miss Green, I would say. Perhaps the young woman's special someone, do you think? Might be. My, Mr. Naruhodo. I didn't know you had a sense for matters of the heart. Not in the least. I sincerely said the first thing I thought of. Yeah, he's not very sensitive to that. Honestly, I think the most sensitive he has been in matters of the heart was when he was still with, like, Kazuma. Is there a Mr. Narrow Father here? Mr. Narrow Father! Narrow Father now? Well, if you're looking for Naruhodo, the lawyer, that's me, but... Ah! Mr. Narrow Father! Good, this is for you. It's a message from a Mr. Soseki Natsume. Excuse me? Mr. Natsume? Sent a message to me? But why would a policeman be delivering a message from Mr. Natsume? Exactly. What's going on? What's a Scotland Yard constable doing playing delivery boy at this time in the morning? Ah! What are you waiting for? Let me see that! Oh! Well, this is most unexpected. Is something wrong, Mr. Sholmes? Is something wrong, Mr. Sholmes, he says? Have you not seen this note? No, how could I have? It would seem that London's criminals have no intention of letting the great detective rest. A new case calls a case of murder, no less. We must depart at once. Murder? Call cab! Time is of the essence. But the trouble is, we've yet to read Mr. Natsume's note. I was thinking we ought to pay him a visit in his lodgings once we did. That will be entirely convenient. Convenient? What do you mean? It's all here in the note, my dear fellows. The murder we must investigate took place at Mr. Mustache's lodgings. Wait, what? This guy's cursed, man. This guy's really cursed. What the hell is this? What the hell is this word? I have never seen this word my whole life. What is this? It's a...
Fiacre.
It's a fiacre. Okay, it's a fiacre. Okay, I'll hail a fiacre at once. Fiacre. Fiacre. Right. It was only yesterday that Soseki-san was in court and we were dispelling doubt about his innocence. And now, the very next day, there's a murder at the man's own address? He may very well be the unluckiest man alive. Or so it seemed to us at the time, but we were soon to discover it was worse than we thought. Oh, Jeebus. Oh, Jeebus. GG. I'm munking a bit on my donut. I don't know who got murdered. Do you think it's a woman or it's a guy? Probably an adult, a young adult. I love chewy pondering. I think it's a Chiefs. Gonna ignore that. 21st February, 7:18 a.m. Mr. Natsume's lodgings, ground floor. Oh, it's a clown. What on earth? Oh my! The gentleman is deceased! Without question, he's dead! Look comes to the Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! Mr. Natsume! Oh, why? Why is this happening? Why to me? I've only just got out of court! Yesterday, I was finally home after 2 days of misery! And then I wake up the next day to this! No early bird to catch a worm like this! Go full worm without wiggle! Pain. Hi, Miyori, I'm quite happy today. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I wonder what's making you so happy. I see you're in high spirits again this morning, Mr. Mustache. Yeah! Not the horrible hair luck shows. Shoot! Shove off! Shut the door! I never invited you! Mr. Sholmes came here with us. I'm quite sure he'll be able to help you, Mr. Natsume. I am entirely at your disposal, Mr. Mustache. What can I do for you? Grrr. Ah, yes, our best boy Gregson. Tusk, here they are already. The busybodies. Ah, Inspector Gregson, what a pleasant surprise. Ah, yes, his never-ending fish and chips, guys. It's magical. See, it's never ending. Pleasant, is it? Gives me heartburn every time I see your face at the crime scene, Sholmes. Ha! I deduce, Inspector, that your heartburn is a result of your excessive consumption of fried food. Shit, he's the first one to acknowledge it. Good morning, Inspector. This is a crime scene. Don't you go touching anything. Or good morning to you too, Sunshine. Thanks for asking. I got Jane from ZZZ, facial for HSR, plus the Mrs. Street. Congrats on your good luck. Congrats. Congrats. Please treat her well. I guess we gotta inspect this thing. Oi! I said hands off! You're gonna mess up my crime scene! Oh, no, I just wanted to look, that's all. No chance! I know your kind! You'll mess it up just by looking at it! Ugh, someone's in a bad mood? There's certainly some bad air in here, isn't there? Ah! Alright, it sounds like I'd better talk to the inspector first and try to curry some favor. Yeah, we need to talk to this guy first. So, Inspector, what was the victim's name? Who was he? Mr. William Shamspeare. He was a lodger here. As you can probably tell, he was an actor. A bit of a dead loss as it happens. Or just dead. Mr. Shamspeare! It was the landlord, old Mr. Garrideb, and the other lodger, Mr. Natsume, who found him. The fella didn't rise at his usual hour, so Garrideb got worried and kicked the door down. But doesn't Mr. Garrideb have a bad leg? Ah, yeah, you're right there. It was that jittery Japanese hunchback over there who actually did the kicking. Really? Soseki-san? The victim was pretty hard up, it seems. Even done some time inside for petty crimes. He had no money, no place to go, and no friends. His only acquaintances were the people in this house. Wow, poor guy. miserable life and a miserable end to it. So, what exactly is Mr. Natsume still doing here? He's not involved in the investigation, so shouldn't you have sent him away from the crime scene? Well, I'm not saying this because the fellow looks odd or anything, or that he acts suspicious, but I thought it would be prudent to take a statement from the culprit. I mean, cohabiter. You nearly said culprit there, didn't you? Oh dear. Mr. Natsume appears to be under suspicion again. It certainly seems that way. He does just come across as such an odd fellow, doesn't he? Poor man. How unfortunate. GG. Imagine looking so suspicious that you just get caught in everything. Anyway, I can't say much until the coroner gets here. But I don't think the fellow's been a goner that long. The body's still warm. Even if the inspector would allow it, I don't think I could bring myself to touch a dead body. Okay, so can we check anything? Okay, I don't think we should check anything. We should just talk to Natsume, I guess. Cool. What a terrible thing to have happened! It's only been 3 days since I was arrested for the incident on the pavement outside. And then, having finally regained my freedom, it starts happening all over again. Endless existence of excruciating experiences. So, the victim lived here on the ground floor, and your room is just 1 story up, isn't it? Yes, that's right. In a way, we were neighbors, I suppose. Oh, it's Officer Fish and Chips. That's right. Officer Endless Fish and Chips. So, did you know the victim? Were you friends? Oh, music died down. Why are you shaking? Why are you shaking? What's the matter with Soseki-san now? It was an innocent enough question, wasn't it? Why does he seem so shaken by it? Well, suppose he was a complete stranger. But did he ever invite me to his room? Never! On my honor, I swear it. What an extreme reaction. You're probably wishing you'd never asked now, aren't you, Mr. Naruhodo? When we found him here, I felt wretched, which is why I sent word asking you to come. Throw that door over there! What are you doing? Look at this guy. Look at this guy and his stupid pose. Look at it. Oh my god, he's forcing me to look at him, isn't he? Why? Guys, why? Why? Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? Ha! You need only observe to know it, my dear fellow. Investigating, naturally. There's nothing natural about that pose. Mr. Sholmes, have you made some miraculous discovery? Patience, my dear madam. Patience. We've not been here in this room 5 minutes. Mr. Sassy here be looking fresh. And annoying as usual. What is that goofy ass pose? You're talking about the pose he was doing here, right? Like just now, when I clicked on him. That was a really goofy pose, I agree, Angel. Anyway, hi, welcome in, Angel. Yeah, he's just dramatic, okay? So far, all I've managed to deduce is what actually happened. My goodness! But isn't that everything we need to know, Mr. Schultz? Now that you propose the idea, I believe one could indeed see it that way. At the present time, I have managed to draw 2 incontrovertible conclusions. The first, that there was a physical struggle here last night in which the victim fought for his life. Ah! Natsume, what's wrong? Is something that Mr. Sholmes said significant somehow? No, don't mind me. Forget I was here. And my second conclusion, let me bet he's going to yell again, is that there was a poison lingering in the air here last night that passed the victim's lips. Nonsense! Alright, Mr. Natsume, why are you reacting so extremely to Mr. Sholmes' deductions? No, please, pretend I'm not here. Invisible, ineffable, inscrutable, insignificant. Impossible to ignore.
You must tell us everything, Mr. Sholmes. Spare no detail.
But of course, let the theatrical tragedy before us be unraveled by my great deductions, presented for your pleasure in 2 acts. Is he going to dance? We have heard some truly astounding great deductions from Mr. Sholmes in the past. No doubt this will be no exception. What miracles will unfold before our eyes this time? So, my dear fellows, for your delight and wonder, let the curtain rise for Sherlock Sholmes' Logic and Reasoning Spectacular, Act 1. Guys, get ready. If you thought he was weird, it's about to get worse, okay? It's about to get worse. The Great Deduction. The game is afoot. He's always weird. Yeah, he's always weird, but... Careful observation of the victim reveals to us the events that transpired in this disconsolate room last night. Foam at the mouth of the deceased clearly indicates the use of poison. He acted really weirdly. Next to the victim, we notice a large dining plate which contains, you will observe, is that butter? 1/2 of a sizable bar of soap. Meaningful? Indubitably. Was he eating soap? Why is this soap set so purposefully upon the dish? Like the victim's last supper, in fact. Yes. Could it be that the man was about to eat it? Of course, the fork reveals the answer. Okay, that's another weird reaction. Yummy so high Jisung. Yum soap. Yes, soap is cheap too, so. It appears that the young man's appetite was his undoing. Taking up arms in the form of his cutlery, the victim engaged in a deadly battle for his life. Okay, I think there's another reaction. Yet the struggle against his hunger was in vain, for in the end, he couldn't resist devouring the slippery feast. But London's foul soap is besmirched by foul poison. Yes, the victim's life was claimed by poison that tainted the contents of the plate. Interesting. London poverty is real, I know, right? The soap and the lather about the young man's mouth are too perfectly matched to ignore. The cause of death was clearly intoxication due to excessive ingestion of foul soap. Though personally, I have a greater interest in the taste of foul candle wax, of course. Okay, so get this man some candle wax and make him eat it. Okay, make him eat it. So, conclusion, poisoning from soap ingestion. Okay, suicide or murder. The cause of death identified, we proceed to Act 2 where we ponder the next question. Was this suicide or murder? Man, Natsume is not getting a break. The audience will recall that death occurred during the victim's last supper. Did the man dine and die alone? This single teacup suggests the answer. To draw a conclusion on such meager evidence would be foolish, however. Certainly, the careful criminal could have absconded with his own cup to cover his tracks. Well, allow me to lift the veil of doubt, my dear fellow. Welcome, back, Kiko. Indeed, what reveals the answer, of course, is the broken law. my brother in Christ, they literally mentioned that they had to kick down the door. Are you for real, Sholmes? So, forced open now. At the time of the incident, this door was locked. And the soul key was in the victim's pocket. In other words, when the victim consumed the poison, he must have been alone. Along with his inferior soap, from whence wafted an inferior scent. And with that acrid aroma lingering in the air, the victim met his end in tragic solitude. We can take comfort only in the fact that his soul was well cleansed on its way to the hereafter. His soul was well cleansed. Why is this man so hilarious? Brother in Christ. Yeah, that's me crying because what the hell is Sholmes doing? The only spiritual cleansing I know is white sage, which I burn sometimes, but yeah, I'll talk about that. Huh? Well, the reverse of Mr. Sherlock is this idiot. Finally, someone on my side. Yeah, he's kind of an idiot. Thus concludes the final act of Sherlock Holmes' great deduction. Look at Susato, she's just... Look at Gregson. He's stress eating. There's just one thing, Mr. Sholmes. We're disposed to identifying just one thing, aren't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Pray, what concerns you? Well, no matter how hungry he was, do you really think the man would have eaten soap? It is quite apparent that this man had barely a penny to his name. It is a curious thing, but to one so destitute, soap can suddenly appear quite irresistibly appetizing. He is testing my pronunciation, I swear to God. My brain hurt hearing his deduction. My brain hurts too, and I had to read everything out. How extraordinary! In truth, I have tried a little soap myself in the past. You've eaten it, you mean? My dear fellow, it was some time ago now. My postulation was that it would cleanse my gut. I think what needs cleansing is your brain. And did it? As I writhed in agony on the floor and spilled the contents of my stomach. Yes, I believe it did. No! That's not how you cleanse! No! No! Why are you so stupid? No! Wait, I kind of forgot, but did potentially die for you this time? Yeah, I think he died. They say he's dead. Oh. Yeah, that explains his brain damage. Ugh. I think this explains his brain damage. I mean, to be fair, it probably was already damaged when curiosity killed the cat. No. Nothing will happen to Wagahai. I'm not letting anything happen to Wagahai, okay? The experience taught me a valuable lesson. Soap is quite poisonous. It has an unpleasant taste and leads to great discomfort. In summary, I cannot recommend it. Believe me, I wouldn't eat it even if you did. There's something that troubles me as well, actually. Oh, what's that? When you have small damage and now brain damage? It happens sometimes. Sometimes you can have both. It's Mr. Natsume. Ah! I couldn't help noticing him shuddering and quivering out of the corner of my eye. Almost as if Mr. Sholmes' deductions touched the nerve somehow. Nonsense. Well, that clenched teeth episode didn't last. He's tired, man. He made people off themselves, and hearing him explain every case. I value my life a lot more than that. I think, judging by Mr. Natsume's reaction, the great detective's deductions may need some gentle corrections in order to reach the actual truth. Yes, Mr. Sholmes' observations and deductions are sometimes a little too sharp. He has a tendency to hit the nail on the other side of the head and drive it in at an obtuse angle. He's got the spirit. He's got the spirit. When he does that, it falls to us to straighten things out. My good sir, Ryunosuke, do you think you can straighten out a man like Sherlock Sholmes? This man ain't straight, okay? Like, if that's what you're getting at, this man ain't straight. You cannot straighten this man out, okay? But if you mean straighten out his deductions, well, by all means, I'm sure that works. Yeah. Blunt instrument? Yeah, we'll see about that. Yes, mate, exactly. You can't straighten this man out. He ain't straight, yeah. But anyway, if you want to straighten things out, that may still be possible, right? Yeah, that may still be possible. Alright then, let's see what we can do. Yes, we must pick out the keywords in Mr. Sholmes' quite brilliant deductions. And discreetly exchange them for something that makes a little more sense. If we can do that, I'm sure we'll arrive at what Mr. Sholmes meant to say in the first place. In that case, are you ready for the second performance of the day? Yeah. Kudos to Susato and everyone for being very patient with him. I know, right? I dealt with this guy for hours in the last game and I have to do it again for this game. You guys better believe I love you all, okay? Once again, my dear fellows, for your continued delight and wonder, let the curtain rise for Sherlock Sholmes' Logic and Reasoning Spectacular, Act 1. I like these deductions though. Okay. You know what I want to see? Ryunosuke dancing as well. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Okay, cause of death, poisoning from soap ingestion. Alright. Careful observation. Clearly indicates the use of poison. Next to a victim. I mean, we already read this, right? Question mark. Well, you can't deny that a fork implies the man was eating something or about to eat something. Yes, that's true. If I were to decide to eat some soap, I should prefer to use a fork than to attempt it with chopsticks. Nah, I will eat soap with chopsticks if it came down to it. And of course, only half of the bar of soap is left on the plate. But might there not be some other explanation? Something material that proves whether or not the man really ate some soap? Did the victim really eat some soap? Wait, no! There's soap on the floor! There's soap on the floor! Dun, dun, dun. Look at him! Look at that sass! Holy shit, he just went... Ha! Could it be that the man was about to eat it? Of course, the other piece of soap reveals the answer. It being the other half of the soap on the table, in short, the victim was not eating soap at all. But it's obvious, really, for no depths of hunger could drive any man to attempt to eat soap. Even I, with my unquenchable thirst for practical knowledge, only took to only a single bite. But that begs the question of how the man was poisoned, because there's no sign of any food on the table. Mr. T. An excellent observation, Mr. Naruhodo, and one that furnishes us with the answer we seek. For London's foul soap is besmirched by foul poison. Now this is a real detective. No, this is a lawyer. This is a lawyer, okay? That changes the content of the plate. I don't believe so. Mr. Sholmes is still pushing the soap argument then. Perhaps he's suggesting the man licked the soap rather than ate it. If soap in London is that poisonous, I don't think I want to be washing my hands with it. Thanks for the hydrate, rabbit. I'm slowly munching on my second donut. But there are no signs of any food in this room at all. Of course, food isn't the only thing that passes people's lips, is it? It's the tea! When she's forbore to drink water after eating donut, then you'll hear me cough blood. Yes, the victim's life was claimed by poison that tainted the tea cup. Indeed, cups have been a vessel of choice for practicing poisoners over the centuries. No, it's the nut milk. Excuse you! There's no nut milk on the table tonight. And it would appear that this victim drank every last drop. There's no sign of food anywhere in the room. Which leads us to the immutable conclusion. The cause of death was clearly intoxication due to the ingestion of poison contained in this teacup. Nope, no but milk tonight. No nut milk tonight. No. Okay, I'm gonna like have some chocolate coated sections of the donut. So good. Okay, suicide or murder? Are you sure it suggests the answer? Ah, the Western vessel for infused hot drinks again. It's already featured heavily in our deduction so far. Yes, we can imagine that shortly before his death, Mr. Shamsphere was having a drink of tea. Okay, so he can't afford food, but he can afford tea. Make it make sense. There would be nothing remarkable about that. But what troubles me is Mr. Natsume's reaction when he heard Mr. Shom suggest it. There's more to this deduction than it seems. We must closely examine the scene of the crime again for some more clues. Did he dine there? Where did he dine alone? We see other... Is there anything that shows that somebody else was present? Somebody else was present, right? Where? Yeah, I must not be seeing something. Other teacup. Oh shit, I didn't see it. Did the man dine and die alone? This other teacup suggests the answer. Yes, there were 2 teacups in this room all along. In other words, this is a strong indication that at the victim's last supper, there was a guest present. At the very least, we can say now with certainty that somebody else was here in this room last night taking tea with the victim. What are you talking about? Utterly unbelievable, unjustly unreasonable. To draw a conclusion on such meager evidence would be foolish, however, certainly. In which case, what more can we deduce about this possible guest at the table? Well, allow me to lift the veil of doubt, my dear fellow. Do you mean to say you know who exactly was in this room at the time of the victim's death? Indeed, what reveals the answer, of course, is the broken "Are you sure?" I'm not sure I like where this deduction is going now. I'm afraid it's too late to go back to the halcyon days of eating too much soap. But the identity of the guest who was in here last night when the victim passed away is something I have a very bad feeling about. Oh god, yeah, that's me for sure. Well, you can try to ignore your feelings, but we cannot ignore the truth, Mr. Naruhodo. You're still in love with Kazuma Asogi. I'm just kidding. No, I suppose not. Time to look around again. Let's see. There is book. Pile of books. Yeah, we got pile of a books. Okay. You observe that there is a pile of books here. Yet clearly, no one man could hope to read 3 whole books. Okay, this is not right. In other words, there must have been someone else in this. I must warn you, Mr. Naruhodo, that the sprinkling of phrases such as yet clearly and in other words will not fool anyone. But I always hear you using turns of phrase like they more fool you. Hey, you piece of. Okay, fine. Okay, which is it? That will reveal the truth about this man's passing. Okay, so we got books. We have empty bottle. Candle. So it's the books. So we can click. Right, I completely forgot. It's empty. Empty of liquid, but full of air. That makes you think, doesn't it? Sir, you are literally an English language student. You are not a philosopher. It makes me think that you're full of hot air. We should be thinking about who else was in the room at the time. Father, Susato's unscripted response was cleverer than my original riddle. God damn it. Even Mr. Shamsweir didn't eat candles, it seems. We've already established that he didn't eat soap either. Do you think perhaps the guest brought this candle here last night? Even if he or she did, does it reveal anything about the guest's identity? Good point. There goes my idea. Snuffed out like the candle will be. You sigh so deeply, Mr. Naruhodo. You're in danger of blowing out the flame. Okay, we need to examine the books, I think. At first glance, it seems that the only things in this room are the makeshift stage and the costumes. I overlooked these 3 books initially. I wonder what they are. Let's see, the titles read... The Picture of Monzialico, Canterbury Yearnings, and A Meal for Gabriel? Wait, I'm sure I've heard those titles before. It could just be an incredible coincidence, but... They're the exact same 3 books that Mr. Natsume purchased the other day. What? Yes, on the day of the unfortunate incident when Miss Green was stabbed. Soseki-san had just been to a bookshop and bought them, that's right. Sorry, Sheep Mom came in. That was so awkward. Anyway. And now those 3 titles are here in the room of the victim. Yeah, Mr. Natsume claims never to have been here before. What does this mean, do you think? I really don't know what to make of it. Okay, now we can present this. Okay, let's go. You're just torturing the poor fellow quivering in his boots. That's right. Indeed, what reveals the answer, of course, is a pile of familiar books. Quite so. It's no mere coincidence that these 3 titles are here in this room. It's the link to the truth. Mr. Natsume, you purchased these books 4 days ago at the second-hand bookshop. That's just a coincidence. In that case, You will be able to bring the same 3 titles from your own room, will you not? This very moment. No, never, non-negotiable. If you can't bring your own copies here, it proves that these 3 books are in fact yours. Having purchased the books 4 days ago and returned to your lodgings, you were arrested the very next day. So you could conceivably have brought the books here on that evening, but you never mentioned that. In other words, you could only have brought these 3 books here to the victim's room. The legend made him dance all the way there. Last night, having returned to your lodgings after the trial concluded at the Old Bailey. In short, there is only one possible conclusion. The victim died here in his room last night as a result of poisoning. And that same night, the victim had a visitor. And that visitor was you, Mr. Soseki Natsume. Oh my gosh, look at the sass. They dance with like that kind of like shoom movement. Okay, the thing is that from my end, like you guys are seeing it at 30 frames per second, but I'm seeing it at 60 frames per second. The smoothness is like beautiful. The man rests, he's gonna have a heart attack due to stress and paranoia. I know, right? Man, prison PTSD. Thus concludes the final acts of Sherlock Holmes' Great Deduction. Soseki Natsume at the scene. Dun, dun, dun. Deduction complete, elementary, baby. Not again. Not again. Not again. Not again. Well then, Mr. Natsume, it would appear you're gonna have to accompany me down to the yard again. But wait! Hold your horses! Yes? Door! Key! Locked! Entry! Exit entirely impossible! He's so flustered he's being even stranger than normal. What? You think that's an alibi? You could have just made a copy. What? You live in the same building after all. You'd have plenty of opportunity, I'm sure. Misery me! Sorry, sir. You'll get your chance to give your side of the story later. The facts speak for themselves, Mr. Mustache. You horrible Sherlock Holmes. He really has found himself an arch rival now, hasn't he? Come on now, no dilly-dallying. Outside, there's a carriage waiting. Welcome, student Mr. Nadehodo Esquire. I never imagined I'll be in this position again, but you have to help me. Please, I'm innocent. Alright, I understand. We'll come to your cell later and talk about it. And one more thing. Oh, yes? My poor little kitty cat. Please give him his breakfast for me. Oh yes, Wagahai. We have to feed Wagahai. And so, his evil curse still apparently unbroken. Soseki-san found himself once again the prime suspect in the case of murder. Will we get to see Wagahai? Thanks to the incriminating deduction of the great detective. Sherlock shows perfect deduction. My fool, it was all Naruhodo and Susato fixing it. I know, right? My dear fellow, that honor belongs to you. Hey, shut up. You started it, okay? Well, at least that means Inspector Gregson is no longer here. We can examine the crime scene in more detail now.
Yes, that's right. Ah, and of course, what? Have you forgotten what the inspector mentioned before? It was the landlord, Mr. Garrideb, who discovered Mr. Shamsphere.
Ah, Mr. John Garrideb, yes. I expect we could find him in his sitting room on the top floor as usual. Right, we must remember to go and talk to him later then. Pen and Safaru. Pen and Safaru, we can finally look at the body.
Oh, the poor man. So young to die. Do you suppose it was a very painful death, being poisoned as he was?
I don't know. All we can do now is hope that he'll be reborn to a better life.
Yes, I suppose you're right. I wonder.
You think that putting our hands together in a Japanese prayer would help a British soul? Sorry?
I made sure I had a reference at the ready for just such an occasion as this, actually. This book is entitled The Beginner's Guide to Praying for the Departed, the British Way. I'll just reread it now. One moment.
There's quite a spine on that book, isn't there? Yeah, it's a thick. I got scammed by the bus arrival board. No! What kind of scam was it? Ah, one of the teacups that Mr. Shamsphere and his guest drank from last night.
But don't go drinking from them, Mr. Naruhodo. There's bitter poison inside.
I'm not planning on drinking any, don't worry. Anyway, the cups are both empty.
That's true.
So, one was Mr. Shamsphere's, and the other must be the cup that Mr. Natsume was drinking from. But Soseki-san wasn't poisoned, of course. Perhaps we should take these so we can examine them in more detail later. Pair of teacups, blah blah blah. Okay, got it. Board, right? Yeah. We already went through this. Okay, so we have... Oh, we have the... And here we have another disproportionately large machine. This looks like a meter of some kind. Ah, this is a gas meter, I think. It seems that in this district, residents pay for gas as they use it with coins. Ah, I see. Yes, now you've pointed it out. I can see that there's a slot just here that looks like it would take a coin. So you mean, if you put a coin in here...
That's right, that will buy you about 2 hours of gas for lights and heating.
So if you were a poor person with no money, you'll have to sleep in the freezing cold.
Yes, or if you were a scatterbrain with no change because you forgot to exchange your money at the bank.
Thank goodness there's no meter in our office. Ooh, that sounds scary. What else is there? What's this? What's this? It looks like part of an envelope, I think. Yes, I think you may be right. Perhaps it was torn off when the letter was opened. Is that significant? Well, it's a little out of place, perhaps. When you look around the room, there's no sign of the letter or the rest of the envelope, in fact, is there? Ah, she's right. And yet, here we have the torn off end of an envelope. It just strikes me as unusual. I agree. We'd better take this, just in case. Take everything. Okay. We take us everything. We leave us nothing. This is a gas wall light, isn't it? It must be connected to a gas pipe in the wall. Gas lights, a gas stove. London really is a city of gas. It's full of hot gas. And now that I think about it, Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb had an open fire on the top floor, didn't they?
Oh yes, you're right. I don't recall seeing a gas stove up there.
Well, I much prefer a real fire anyway. It's so much cozier. And so, is there anything else that we can see?
This is some sort of makeshift stage, I think, isn't it?
Where does the audience sit though for the nightly Shakespeare performances? Actors aspiring to the great stage must practice their art, Mr. Naruhodo, with or without an audience. That's me giving readings. Thanks guys for your support. To no one in particular. In fact, on a related note, perhaps you should set up a mock bench for the defense in your office. What? Then you could practice your art every single day. I'll think about it, if you promise to don a beard and play the role of the judge. Well, if that will help you achieve your goal. This I have to see. Rip. Okay. I'm not really interested in his undies in particular, so we have these. Look at these extravagant bright costumes. Somehow they look out of place in this room with its grim shady goings-on. This all looks like a king's attire. A king? I've always dreamt of being a king. Oh, I think you'll be more suited to a feudal lord, a daimyo or such like. With a chonmage? How do I pronounce this? Okay. Komage is that. Wait.
Chonmage.
Chonmage. Okay, chonmage. Okay. Got it. Okay. With a chonmage top knot? Every Japanese man wishes he had a chonmage. Oh, you look wonderful with one, and you already have the sword. Can you imagine what would happen if I walked around the streets of London with a chonmage and a sword? Just notice the windows are bricked up. Oh god, the window, lol. As we've seen from the outside, the window is completely bricked up. A vestige of the former window tax that Britons had to pay. What strange things they used to tax in Great Britain? Oh man, the things that they actually tax now, Lamal. I mean, making people pay for the number of windows they had in a property. It's extraordinary. It's heartbreaking to think of the poor having to block up their windows just to avoid an unaffordable tax. Oh! What is it, Miss Osato? If you look closely, a number of the bricks are loose. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Oh? Oh, yes, it looks as though an amateur has broken out a few of them just here. Was it Mr. Shamsbury who did it, I wonder? Being the lodger renting this room? Ah, look at this, Mr. Naruhodo. Is there more soap? On the outside, there's a little ledge. And there's something on it. What? Outside? Hey. It's so cold outside. You can feel it through this gap. It did snow all last night. It will be cold. But more importantly, what is it on the ledge out there? What are those snow-covered lumps? It's more bars of soap. It's soap. It's more soap. Soap? What are bars of soap doing lined up on the ledge outside the window? I have no idea. But a pair of them look rather charming like that. Still, that's very strange, isn't it? I didn't expect that, right? Bars of soap lined up outside the window. I think perhaps we should take there too, after all. Oh dear, I suppose we could. Oh, what's this? Look here at this soap. Ah! Do you see in the middle there? There's a patch that's a different color. It's sort of transparent, but some sort of fancy design, I suppose. Only in Great Britain. It looks like the Hinomaru flag of Japan, doesn't it? How wonderful! It's probably a very expensive brand. Expensive? Then what's it doing in this ramshackle room? Okay. The bar soap that has been entered into the court record. Okay. Okay, so we have seen everything. Looks like like you're having a good snoop around, eh? Inspector Gregson, but back so soon? After I threw that little Japanese fella in the clink, I went and reported this to the investigation division. In 5 minutes' time, this place will be cordoned off by the yard. Oh, I see. Well, you better be leaving then. Poor Mr. Natsume must be feeling very low being back in the cell again so soon. I'm sure we should probably go and... Excuse me? Hello? Are you guys seeing this? What's wrong, Mr. Naruhodo? Out, brief candle, life's but the walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets its hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. Now, how soundeth the next part? It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Indeed, oh happy day! What? Zombie. Walking Dead! What the hell? What the hell is this? The fella isn't dead at all? What was that nonsense he was saying though? I think, yes, it was from William Shakespeare's Macbeth. A soliloquy from Act 5, Scene 5. Shakespeare! Oh my gosh, so Mr. Natsume go to jail because this jackwagon was acting? I don't know, man. So it was that the victim, Mr. William Shakespeare, came back to life. If the man had indeed been poisoned, it transpired that it hadn't killed him. He was taken by emergency carriage to a nearby hospital for treatment. And Inspector Gregson evicted us from the scene of the crime, whatever that now was. Jeebus. 21st February Prime. What was going on, guys? I'm so confused. I am so confused. I'm gonna have some donut. What the hell even was that? Oh! Big stretch? Okay, big stretch. Stretchy. Big stretching. I don't hear any bones crack. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. I shouldn't hear anything cracking in the first place. Very nice. Thank you. 21st February, Briar Road. Whatever do you think will happen now? Good question. What a strange situation for Mr. Natsume. Arrested for murder, but then the victim comes back to life. I think perhaps the victim was never dead in the first place. It seems very likely that Mr. Shakespeare did consume poison as we deduced. But was it an accident, attempted suicide, or attempted murder? Until the truth can be established, I imagine the police will keep Mr. Natsume in custody. If you hear cracks, it's not a good sign. Exactly. That's why I'm glad that there's nothing cracking first place. Oh, what's this? What's the man doing over there? He looks like he's trying to see into Soseki-san's lodgings. Is something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, when company streams a good game? Yeah, that's great. It is a very good game. Excuse me, can we have a word? Excuse me? He just ran off. I feel sure that I've seen that man somewhere before. Where was it? I do too, but I don't remember. I remember this guy was arguing with Shemspeare. Okay, so this is the place? With the exception of the top floor where Mr. and Mrs. Garrett live, all the windows are bricked up. Yes, that's because of an old window tax that was charged on the number of windows a property had. In order to pay less tax, the poorer members of society filled in many of their windows. But the tax has since been abolished, hasn't it? So the windows could all be opened up again, surely? Well, welcome to the Shibdom Company. Owen? Unfortunately, it would appear that the residents of this district can't afford to pay to have the work done. Yes, that is a sad state of affairs. Especially for people like poor Mr. Natsume, who have to live all cooped up in a windowless room. I suppose that's the price you pay for living in very cheap accommodation. It all seems rather pointless when you put it like that. What about this fancy broken bicycle? There always seems to be a bicycle outside the Garrett residence. I read that bicycles are extremely popular all over Great Britain at the moment, in fact. That one seems very warped, though, especially the front wheel. Is that to make it more of a challenge to ride, do you think? No, I'm afraid that may be a result of the rider's incompetence. Ooh, ouch, that burned. For the front wheel to be so badly warped, I'm afraid the rider may have been similarly afflicted. Then, there's a good chance Mr. Natsume has been practicing on this bicycle, I think. Oh dear, I fear you may be right. Stop insulting the poor man! Yamete! I mean, I don't think there's anything else to see. Wait, there is? Okay. The Garrett household and Mr. Natsume's lodgings are in a prominent position there on the corner. Sometimes when I look at the building, I can't help feeling that it's at a bit of a slant. It does rather look as though it would collapse in even the smallest earthquake, doesn't it? And isn't it supposed to be haunted as well? I think I might have a hunch as to why Soseki-san has such a hunched back. So there's a snowman here apparently. Why has somebody built this snowman on some sort of pedestal, do you think? That's not a pedestal, Mr. Naruhodo. That's part of the snowman's body. Really? But it already has a perfectly good body. Well, it's true that British snowmen are usually made with 2 balls of snow. Perhaps this is a foreigner. And now we're looking at him as if he's strange. Poor man. I know how he feels. Ooh. If anything, it's Japanese and British 2-ball snowmen that are the strange ones, isn't it? After all, real people do have 3 sections: head, torso, and legs. Do you ever think that perhaps you think about things too much? Okay, are we done here? I don't think there's anything else to see. Oh, street lamps. London's blanketed in fog again today, and the sky is covered in cloud. But if you look carefully in the distance, you can just make out the crystal tower being built. There's the crystal tower. Right there. Ah, the crystal tower. Yes, the centerpiece of the great exhibition that's to open in 6 months' time. Everyone's talking about the great exhibition of London at the moment, it seems. Well, it's to be the largest event of its kind anywhere in the world, with technology and scientists from all over.
I can't wait for it myself.
Do you think visiting students from the Far East like us will be granted entry? The last great exhibition that was held in London had more than 6 million visitors, it seems. And this time, the British are determined to make it an even bigger success to outdo the Paris Exposition. I see. That's an incredible number of people. Yeah, a lot. And with so many people expected to attend, we should easily be able to slip in unnoticed. There's always the honest approach of buying tickets at the main entrance, Mr. Naruhodo. I don't think there's anything else here. I could move to like the Gyarados room, you know, where we can like check on the Gyarados. 21st of February, the Gyarados room. Here we are again. The eccentric landlord's eccentric top floor abode. We're here because Mr. Gyarados, the one who discovered the incident this morning. Don't forget. Ah! You chaps, eh? Okay, good night. Good night, yes. Yes, good morning, sir. Thank you for your cooperation in court yesterday. That was quite a trial. As much for Mr. Gyarados as anyone, really. Came straight back here after all that business at the Bailey yesterday. Didn't expect to wake up to more bally nonsense this morning. I wonder if you wouldn't mind telling us exactly what happened, Mr. Gyarados? Yes, I suppose you'd like to know all about that dead loss of an actor chap in the ground floor room. Those were exactly Inspector Gricklin's words, weren't they? Okay, let's ask this morning's incident. It must have been a real shock for you this morning. I hear that you discovered what had happened. Ah, well, that hopeless actor chap rises at 5 o'clock sharp every morning without fail. But at 5:30 this morning, he still hadn't lit the gas. So I went down and knocked on his door, but no bally answer. And that's when you broke into his room by kicking down the door? Well, I called on that rum-looking Japanese chap to do the grunt work, of course. Wasn't it a little premature to kick the door down? The man could have just overslept by half an hour. That's very true, Mr. Naruhodo. If 30 minutes of oversleeping warranted such behavior, I'll have to kick your door down every morning. Oh! Does this mean that Skip was like, is a chronic oversleeper? Well, you know, better to be safe and sorry and all that. Is it just me or is he avoiding our gaze now all of a sudden? Except that it was a sorry situation indeed that you found on the far side of the door. The victim's name is Mr. Shamspear, I believe. Is that right? Yes, William Shamspear. Took the ground floor room 3 months ago now. And how would you describe him? Our mercenary, hello, welcome in. In a word, destitute. Destitute? Well, let's face it, the only redeeming feature of that room is the cheap rent. Anyone wanting to live in a place like that is either broke or has a bally screw loose. So hard to choose which category Soseki-san would fall into. Hey, he is your freaking client, can you not? Mr. Naruhodo, that's a little rude. He was doing research as well. Research? Into what? Shakespeare, of course. Shakespeare. Read a few plays of the old part myself, you know, Romeo and Hamlet and all that. Yes, William Shakespeare is England's most highly regarded classical playwright and author. He's known as Sao in Japanese, as you know, and many of his works have already been translated. It seems incredible that Shakespeare was shortened to Sao, though. Someone was too heavy-handed there. There are a lot of costumes in the victim's room, actually, weren't there? Of course, Mr. Natsume is a scholar of English literature as well. I imagine he and Mr. Shamspear would have had much in common. Interpretation disagreement leads to shocking murder. Let's hope it's not that. Hey, we are not violent people, okay? We're not violent people, excuse you. Mr. Naruhodo? Really? How rude. Okay, what happened yesterday then? We're missing a huge, clarification here, I feel. After Mr. Natsume's trial yesterday, you came straight back here, I believe, didn't you? Did you notice anything strange between then and this morning? Well now, must have been about 6 in the evening by the time I got home. Snow was coming down rather heavily as I remember, and it was completely dark already. That failed actor chap was out at the time. Mr. Gary Depp noticed there was no light from his room or something, I suppose. Couldn't summon the energy for anything much, so I just sat in front of the fire up here. It was after 8 before Shamspeare got back. And the chap was up until past 1 in the morning, I'll have you know. Suppose he met his end sometime after that. I was asleep by then, so I'm rather in the dark there. Well, thank you. That was very illuminating. Is everything alright, Miss Osato? Well, I was just thinking it's a little strange, that's all. Mr. Gary Depp, you were up here in your room all evening, if I've understood correctly. Not a big fan of stairs, not with this blasted leg. Then, how is it that you seem to know? The precise movements of your tenant on the ground floor, I mean. Ah! That's a very good point. I can't imagine that you could hear noises from the ground floor all the way up here. Dun dun dun! Does this old man like to spy on his tenants? Is that it? Oh my gosh, sir! That's so rude! I say, I know what you're thinking, and it's a bully outrage. I'm ex-military, don't you know? I don't go around spying on my tenants. Why would I? Then how did you know, Mr. Garrida? It's the gas, woman! The gas tells me everything. Hi, G-Man, hello. The gas? Okay, speaking gas? What on earth do you mean, sir? How can the gas tell you anything, let alone everything? Well, as you are probably aware, the gas is supplied to the building by pipes. Yes, I'll more or less work that out. And you, man, have you been a bit away or does my Twitch suck? Yeah, your Twitch sucks because I've been active for like the past 2 months at least. Yes, I more or less worked that out. Every room in the building is connected by a single pipe to the gas main outside. And the gas company supplies gas to properties via the main. Yes, I understand that too. Let me see if I can explain. Let's say I was to light the gas lamps up here. What do you suppose to happen? Well, obviously the room would get brighter. Exactly. But at the same time, the lights in all the other rooms of the house would dim for a moment. What? Did dim? Okay, old man, I like that. What? At least I don't have a cannon home. Hello? He has a cannon indeed. Perhaps it's because when you light a gas lamp, it briefly uses more gas than usual. And that reduces the amount of gas in the pipe for the other lamps that are connected to it. That might explain why the other lamps dim momentarily, mightn't it? Yes, of course, because everything's connected to a single supply pipe. Is that supposed to happen though? It sounds rather undesirable. Jolly good point. Fact is, the gas company's pipes in these parts are pretty hopeless, long worn out, and barely got any gas in them to start with. The opposite's also true, of course. Extinguish the lamps up here and they glow brighter in the rest of the house. Ah, right, I see. So by watching the flickering of the lamps in one room, you can determine what's happening elsewhere. You've got it. Oh, of course, because when people come back home in the evening and before they go to sleep at night, what they're guaranteed to do is either light or put out their lamps and fires. Clever. Very clever. In point of fact, the room on the ground floor and the one above it use slightly different amounts of gas. By watching the lights in here closely, I can work out almost exactly what's going on in the whole house. gosh! That's fascinating, Mr. Gerda. Absolutely fascinating. Oh well, nothing to it, really. And I can't really see that's going to help us with the case either. What I'd like to know is why Mr. Gerda is so interested in what his tenants are up to in the first place. I feel like there's more to it than idle curiosity. Yeah, but why are you even watching in the first place? Well, we've done as much investigating here as we can, I think. Perhaps we ought to go to the prison and speak with Mr. Natsume again.
A good idea.
Okay, so we'll just go to talk to Natsume in prison. I think that should wrap things up nicely. Look at it, man. 21st February, local prison, cell 9.
Look, Mr. Naruhodo.
Mr. Natsume, have the police finished questioning you now?
Welcome to the Mr. Naruhodo Esquire.
Oh, yes?
What is he? Tell me, is he a ghost? Is he here to haunt me?
Let me guess, you're talking about Mr. Shibs? He actually calls himself a great detective, Mr. Natsume, not a ghost.
But his diabolic deductions, they're not of this world. They've left me. Curse, I tell ya.
Well, that sort of hurts. Credit where credit is due, Mr. Naruhodo, you were heavily involved in the deduction too. Yes, moving on. We have some wonderful news! Oh? The victim that we all thought was dead has come back to life again. Now, in the absolutely worst case, you could only be tried for attempted murder. That's great, isn't it, Mr. Natsume?
It's terrible!
Oh.
I'm stuck in the cell, suffering for some silly wrong end of the stick. You did it, didn't you? Confess, you're a killer. Why the mustache? Constant questions!
I'm sorry to hear that.
Arctic selfish shyster! Make up your mind. Are you dead or alive? If you're going to come back to life, why bother dying? Wiggly wishy-washy, William.
Well, it seems likely that Mr. Shakespeare was never actually dead in the first place. Ah, yes, that might make sense. I'm pleased that he's alive, of course. Our lively debate last night was much fun. I'll be sad to think it was our last. Oh! Oops. Mr. Natsume, does this mean that you did see the victim last night? You met with Mr. Shakespeare, didn't you? Dun dun dun! Dun dun dun!
I'm not saying another word. I demand to have a lawyer present.
Sir, I am a lawyer. Who do you think I am? Please, Mr. Natsume, we need to hear your side of the story. Ugh, why am I cursed like this? GG. He's like, I is cursed. I is really cursed. I'm gonna have some donut. I think he really is cursed though. Poor guy. Donut. The chunk I ate is chocolate covered, so it's really nice. Okay, what happened? Nom nom nom, that's right. Can you tell us exactly what happened last night then, Mr. Natsume?
There's nothing to tell.
But Mr. Naruhodo is quiet. I'm eternally grateful to you for helping me with that accursed case yesterday. The case that saw our poor Miss Green hospitalized after she ended up with a knife in her back. It's hard to believe that was only yesterday. After the trial was over, I trudged my weary way back to my lowly lodgings. And that evening, at past 9, it must have been, I visited Mr. Shamspear. So you did go to the victim's room then? As we feared.
I didn't do anything wrong!
I've never been to his room before. It was the first time. Then what made you decide to go? I bumped into him when I arrived back at the house. We got chatting and it developed into a discussion. But he had to go out, so I bade him farewell. Excuse me. That ties in with what Mr. Garridap said, that the victim went out and came back after 8. We met again later that evening, and around 9 or just after when I took him some nice tea I brewed as a gift. No wonder he had tea! Soseki-san gifted it to him. So it was you who brought the tea that had clearly been drunk at the scene then? And I suppose you were discussing the works of Shakespeare, were you? Yes, that's right. That's exactly right. Romeo and Juliet, who was the stronger? It was a delightful debate. I'm sure. Such a stimulating subject, Shakespeare. And the debate became very heated, so you slipped poison into Mr. Shamspear's tea? No! Never! Not at all! Team Juliet won! That was me! And when I left his room, the flamboyant fellow was fighting fit! I swear it! Categorically! Okay, so could you tell us more about your cursed existence? At least what you think is a cursed existence? Mr. Natsume, you often say the same thing about yourself, I've noticed. That you have a cursed existence. I'm sure I've mentioned this to you before, but I've been here in Great Britain for a year now, and in that time I've learned that it's no place for me. It can be very trying to live in a foreign land and adapt to the ways of another culture. There are foreigners everywhere I look, and they all stare at me. They all laugh. That's the impression I get whenever I go out. It makes me scared to leave my room. Which is why I've become a recluse. But even in my room, I find no respite from my fears. I've moved more times than I can remember, and then 1 week ago, I moved into Briar Road. But why? I mean, why do you choose that place? It doesn't seem very comfortable. Because the rent is cheap. I have so little money, it spoke to me. Oh, Steve, poor guy. What a mood. I'm screenshotting this. The rent? Obviously, there's a reason why it's cheap. Because the room is cursed. Cursed? Cursed how? The previous occupant, the man who lived there before I took the room, died there. Oh no! He was only a young man, but one morning he was found dead and no one could explain why. Surely no one would want to live in a room with a history like that. I didn't. When the letting agent recommended the place, I wavered. But I want books, and books cost money! A horrible history is a small price to pay! So valid. This guy is so valid. What the hell? He is so valid. When I realized it would mean I could buy more books, I signed the lease like lightning. Brave or blinkered? But after I moved in, I soon came to realize what I'd done. I realized how horrible that room's history really was. Oh my gosh! Thank you for the raid, Silver Arrows! Hello, hello! Welcome in! Oh my gosh, you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh? How did you get here? I'm surprised. Like, how did you get here to the Great Ace Attorney? Hi, welcome in. I hope it was a good stream. I don't don't know if you could. Wait, in Yu-Gi-Oh, you kind of have to battle with like cards, right? I mean, I'm kind of, you know, as someone who does tarot readings, I too am battling with the cards as well. But it's more of a single player experience, if you know what I mean. You know, the battling with the cards part. When I shuffle the cards, sometimes they don't cooperate and stuff. Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. I hope you're well. I was looking through my follow list. I see. Thank you very much for choosing me. I'm very honored. I hope your stream went smoothly. Hi Raiders, I am Miyori Shiba. Yes, hello people from the Owls Raid. I'm Miyori Shiba. I'm a Shiba VTuber. I enjoy doing tarot reading, like live tarot reading sessions, playing Ace Attorney, playing the Ace Attorney series, as well as Honkai Star Rail and Wuthering Waves, like, you know, gacha games like that. So if you like someone who plays those types of games and loves to talk like I do, then, you know, feel free to stay. But if you want to leave, you know, no hard feelings as well. It did, thanks. Hope yours is going well so far. It is. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for sharing your community with me. If you have to go rest, please go and rest. Streams are tiring, okay? Yeah, free to rest. No pressure to stay. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll be streaming that much longer, but we'll see how long interrogating this paranoia infested guy is going to take. So let's continue. Gosh, was it really so awful? Okay, what horrible history now? Did you guys know I have a collection of like horrible science books? It's a prized collection of mine. How did the room's horrible history affect you, Mr. Natsume? What happened? At first, it was just a feeling. The feeling of beady eyes boring into my back, watching me. Yeah, and because I need to sleep, I will have you up on the TV. Have fun, all. Thanks so much. Thank you so much. Please go and rest. Okay, go and have a great sleep. I'll see you some other time. Thank you once again. Do you think that might just have been your mind playing tricks on you? No. My mind doesn't know any tricks. It was someone else. It's been one long nightmare ever since I was given the keys to the place. A nightmare? You've been having bad dreams, you mean? Oh, the souls who have died in that room lean over me in my sleep and try to strangle me. That really is horrible. And now I come to think of it, it happened again last night too. The very same night that Mr. Shamspear was writhing in agony from the poison in his body. I was on the verge of being suffocated silently by those miserable spirits in my room. You simply must move out of that room as soon as possible. Yes, you're right, I know it, and that's why I'm already searching for the next room with a history to call home. I think perhaps you should try to avoid accommodation with any kind of history at all. You know? Otherwise, I'm scared that you yourself may become history. Oh, shit, no! Not this play on words! Not like that! Ew, Susato-san knows how to make the man listen. Yeah, poor guy. Really. Of course. Mr. Lord of the Manor is worried about the curse on my room as well. You mean Mr. Garadeb? Yes, he knows that if people keep dying there, he'll never be able to rent it out again. Well, that's true. I, for one, wouldn't go near the place. Ah, perhaps! That may explain why the landlord pays so much attention to the gas lamps and his tenants' movements. You mean because he's worried about their well-being? He does seem to have an unusually keen interest in the amount of gas in the pipes. There must be a reason why he keeps such close tabs on the occupants of his let rooms. What do you mean he pays so much attention to the gas lamps? Oh dear, no, it's nothing to do with you, Mr. Natsume. Please, forget I said anything. Oh, now you're talking about me behind my back as well. What's important is that Mr. Shamspear isn't in fact dead at all. Once he's come around and he's able to tell us what happened, we'll be able to get you released. Yes, please. Oh, I do hope you're right. Excuse me. Sir? It's our boy Gregson. Inspector Gregson, hi. I couldn't help overhearing what you just said, and on that note, I have some good news and some bad news. Oh, which do you want first? Always, every time, the bad news comes first. When hope is all you have, hold on to it. That's my guiding principle. Okay, right. Well, in that case, the good news is this. Hey, rude, huh? Sorry, but it's just a lot easier to explain everything that way. Then why did you ask me my preference? As you might have heard, victim, Mr. Shamspear, was just unconscious. He's come around now. Yes, we saw it happen in all its terrifying glory. He's still being treated by doctors, but we've managed to get a written statement from him already. Oh, isn't that wonderful, Mr. Natsume? Oh, thank goodness, it's all over then. I can leave this somber cell. Sorry, no, that's not on the cards. What? Why ever not, Inspector? Mr. Shamspear has implicated someone as being responsible for what happened last night. Implicated someone? Oh, dear! You don't mean... I'm sorry to say I do. Yes, he's pointed a finger at you, Mr. Natsume. How? If he wasn't the one... Ungrateful much? Did you just hate the tea that much? Was it the tea? Were you insulted by Japanese tea? Was it too much for your palate? Oh my gosh, can you not? Dark! By sweet poison did he seek us to end my life. That wicked scative Soseki Natsume. No! So I'm afraid you'll be appearing in court as planned. You'll be wanting to make the necessary preparations. And so, once again, Soseki-san found himself having to take the dock in the Old Bailey. Whether his room was haunted or whether he was just terribly unlucky, I knew I had no choice. The following day, I would represent him in court and do my utmost to break the curse that blighted him. To be continued, yes! Okay, in fact, it stopped at a really good time. We're making good time today. Save current pride. Let's go to be continued. Oh my gosh. Memoirs of the Clouded Kokoro. We're gonna save here. Yes. Override the save here. That's right. Okay. Oh my gosh. Poor Natsume. What the hell? Poor guy. He really like he did nothing wrong. Oh my gosh. He just existed and people just went, yeah, you going to jail, boy. He's like, what about Wagahai? Has anyone fed Wagahai? Oh my gosh. I sure hope they fed Wagahai. If not, Wagahai's gonna go hungry. Oh my gosh, what the hell? Guys, everyone say a prayer for poor Mr. Soseki Natsume. That is so sad. Help. Yeah, so okay. So today I think we'll wrap things up here so that I can go and make my nut milk for tomorrow and stuff like that. And also make it while the windows and the doors are closed so that I won't have anyone kicking down my door being like, who the hell is using the blender at this ungodly hour? Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, that kind of thing. Of course. Yep, so just that. And guys, tomorrow I would definitely, absolutely, 110% not be streaming because I'll be busy hosting homies at my house. Kiko being like one of them. Yes, I'm gonna see the precious Kiko and Kiko and friends are going to come play with Small Sheep. Yes, Small Sheep is gonna be in the presence of a very, very beautiful ladies, and he will be blessed. Yes, he will be blessed. I would love to be Small Sheep, surrounded by pretty ladies. Yep, and I will teach Kiko the art of milking nuts. Yeah, Kiko, you look forward to milking some nuts, huh? You look forward to milking some really solid, beautiful nuts. Yeah? Yeah, I just got a delivery of them today, so like I'll prepare them. I will soak them real good. Yeah. Milk some nuts. Yes, milk them nuts. Let's go. Yeah. So there's that. Okay, so tomorrow and Saturday most likely I will not be streaming because I have in real life stuff to handle, like attend to. But on Sunday, guys, I will have my weekly live tarot reading session. This week will be themed on the moon. Okay, it's currently the waxing gibbous phase, which is well, you'll find out if you come to my stream. Yep. So for those of you who already subscribed to me on Hipsy, I'm sure you've already received the notification that the message I sent to all of you, and also the notification that my live event is already up. Okay, so if you are sure that you'll be able to make it to the live event, feel free to pre order a reading. And if you end up not being able to make it to the live, don't worry, I will still do it, but as like a recorded reading. That is absolutely completely fine as well. Okay? Yeah, the important thing is that it's 15% off if you like order before the live starts. Yeah, I'm trying to help you save money, guys. This 15% is taken off my earnings. Okay, like the side ticks are cut, and this 15% off is me offering the discount to you guys. Okay, it's not them receiving, it's me giving it to you. Yeah, so there's that. Okay, so if nothing happens, then I'll be seeing you guys then, and I'll be showing off my new decks as well. I've been learning how to use them, I've been tuning to them, and it's been a lot of fun. Okay, yes, so without further ado, I guess we shall end. Okay, good night, guys. Please go and get some rest. And for those of you who like are still raring to go, I'll send you guys off to someone else. Okay, yeah, and as usual, if you want to follow my socials and stuff, Twitter is where I am most active. If not, following on Twitch, subscribing on YouTube, that works as well. Yeah, okay then, see you guys on Sunday. Okay, bye bye, bye bye.